So again, everybody, this your boy, Mr. Check My Resume. We about to get into the 0 day. It's our weekly 0 day class. Primarily the focus of this class is to really go through our process for evaluate potential opportunities for Friday 0 day expiration. So what we are identifying and what we're looking for is opportunities for trades to take tomorrow on contracts that expire tomorrow. So very specific. And we look for a few things, and I'll go through some of that. And we believe we have a process that's pretty consistent. And we'll continually look to refine things. I never think anything is a finished product. And so we should always be looking to evolve and improve what we're doing and refine and go back and self-scout, so to speak, or whatever the case may be. But we have confidence in the process. And, with that, we're just trying to help people understand that if you are going to take higher volatility trades with lower probability, which essentially that's what day trades or zero expiring contracts, they're pretty higher on the scale of risk in terms of the volatility. You can lose your entire position on a 0 day trade. And so there is a certain level of risk involved. And so that's why we want to go through a process to help alleviate any potential anxiety that one may have in taking a trade on a 0 day trade, and understanding the behavior and some of the things you probably need to be mindful of when taking these trades, either to the upside or to the downside, doesn't matter. So we'll get into some of that. Again, I do want to stress, and I say this every week, is no one is obligated to take these trades. This is more for educational purposes, really just to identify a process that you can go back and back test and things of that nature. But I think is pretty solid. And so just understanding what you're looking for is really the key. And so with that, there's a couple things I look for. First of which, if you're a part of my Strat 101 class, I talk about the two types of trades. When we're looking at watch list development strategies, we're looking at, there's two types of trades, and that's kind of how I break things down in my mind. You've got trades that are consolidate, like not consolidation, but continuation. And then you've got trades that are more like set on like reversals, like trend reversals, so to speak. And so understanding the logic between both of those types of trades that kind of impacts what I look for when I'm going for a longer term swing versus a day trade or something to that effect. And so being that this is that we're looking for a day trade, I'm really looking for something that's already picked the direction, so to speak. So it's already moving in a direction. And I'm, for just hypothetical purposes, I'm looking for a reversal back into continuity. Maybe it fell out of continuity on one of the smaller time frames, and then there's an actionable signal to take that trade back into continuity. And there may be also situations where there's consolidation on certain time frames as well. And those will also impact potential actionable signals as well. So one of the time frames that I like to target initially for looking for setups, and that's the 4-hour time frame. We've noticed a lot of consistency with that, but we look at the 4-hour time frame to really identify a lot of these setups. We'll also go up to the daily time frame as well, but we really start at the 4 and then work our way up to the day. And sometimes there's some overlap and correlation with the two. So, and again, I also want to ask you all, if you are looking at setups for tomorrow, please feel free to drop them in not the Discord, but drop them in the chat here. But I will caution and folks, just be mindful that we are looking for trades for tomorrow. Not for next week, not for, the long play that you're in. We're looking for trades for tomorrow. We just, want to be mindful of everyone's time. These can get a little lengthy. So we just want to make sure we're focused on, the stocks that we're looking at specifically for tomorrow, because, we could be on here forever if not. So just want to be mindful of that. Otherwise, what I'm going to do next is, for the sake of time, As I've broken down, we're looking for a continuation type of play in this scenario because we're looking for a day trade or a potential, scalp if that's what you want to do. So we're looking for things that have already chosen a direction and are, more or less in a TTO situation or in consolidation on a smaller time frame, and it's giving you an actionable signal back into continuity. So essentially, you're just getting on a moving train. Trains at the bus stop. Trains at the train stop, and then you're just getting in before it goes off again. So that's kind of the idea behind this, and then we'll see what's in front of us from there. So I'm gonna run a quick scan. I'm gonna run a 4-hour inside 4-hour scan. See what stocks gave us an inside candle on the afternoon session. So we've got these scripts in our Discord as well. So any scan that I run or anything like that, and I don't even use like a quarter of these scans. I just put them on there just to see if they work. Most of them I don't use. So looks like there's a lot of consolidation in the afternoon. So there's like 369 stocks with the inside 4 hours. So good and darn well we're not going through all of those. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cherry pick and then see what looks appealing to us, and then we'll go from there. So go ahead and drop whatever tickers you're looking at for tomorrow, and then I'm gonna take a scan here of this list and see if there are any I want to continue to look at. I see Nvidia's here at the top of the list, so let's go ahead and take a look at it because we had the earnings move.
Yes, sir. Chip's looking fire, man, and materials too.
Yeah, so we got Nvidia at inside 4-hour. We gapped up right just below that broadening formation. Let's see. There's some conflict. Yeah. So yeah, hit that broadening formation morning candle. So yeah, we're looking for some potential continuation. It's annoying though when they gap up like that, hit the BF, and then they're like right up under it for continuation. So if we still got the strength, which I believe we will, you should see a continuation on Nvidia. The volumes there, the reaction from earnings was strong. So we should have an expectation that Nvidia will continue. What's wrong with my screen? So that. Screen is tripping. So what's our level here? I can't get this thing off my screen. It's distracting me. So we've got, it's even got my levels blocked here. So we have, let's do this. I don't know what's going on with my thing. There we go. Let's do this. We're just gonna switch it then. All right. So can't even see my level. All right. So we got the 212 on the 4. Looks like it entry points at 238 flat. So that looks like the entry point to give us the bullish continuation on the 4-hour. So we'll get that. We'll knock that in there, see what it does in the morning. We could get a double gap up. And if it does that, it'll probably run to the next broadening formation. I have to look at the price level on what that is. Let's see, 230, 237. So yeah, Nvidia, the expectation should be we get this continuation tomorrow. If not, it's just gonna go flat and hold at that level. But it looks strong. And I keep hearing y'all talking about chips, so chips must be looking real strong. And it may be even a moot point to too concerned. So yeah, I see TSMs up here too. So let's take a look at Taiwan Semiconductors. So looks like we hit a nasty level here on the day. Back down, got the inside 4. This one doesn't look as good as NVIDIA did, but it did have the gap up. Pretty strong retracement back down. And then we just had a little afternoon consolidation. I mean, I'm bullish. I think this one's still going to continue. The question is, what does tomorrow look like? We're trapped between these two weekly broadening formations. So we may gap right here and then squeeze for a little while before it goes up again. Could be, that's the only thought process. I mean, you know, outside of it continuing to go, I don't see it like I don't think this thing, when you have major gap ups like that, even when it gives you a bearish looking like candle, very rarely does it go back and fill the gap the other way back down. Like it took a lot of volume and buying to get it to gap up the way it did. So very rarely is it just going to dissipate that quickly, just to go right back down the opposite way. So typically what you'll see at worst, you may see a little bit of a retracement, but it'll just hold in a range and just squeeze for a period of time if it's not going to go anywhere. But I seldom see it just go straight back down, you know, like that. So like a major gap up like NVIDIA did, and you know, that's a major percentage jump. So typically you're not going to see that retracement go back immediately like that. So maybe after it consolidates for a while, it goes back down, but you know, or it gaps down, but typically you're not going to see intraday move like that. So that's kind of my take on it. Then I'm looking at the BFs here and I'm like, oh, it's trapped between these two weeklies. So it could potentially consolidate there. So just trying to evaluate all potential scenarios. I do like the NVIDIA setup better. However, I do like TSM's long setup here off this 3-2 down on the week. I don't even have the BF set on it, but it looks like it's about to reverse back to the upside here on the week. So that's why I say, even if tomorrow isn't like a crazy day, it has the makings of like going off next week. So, and we're not talking long setups, but you know, that's what I see. I like the long setup on TSM, but I like tomorrow's setup better on NVIDIA. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of BS, but yeah, that's what I see. I just see a little bit of consolidation. It doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies about bullish the way NVIDIA did. NVIDIA just looked like a monster. Still looks strong. We got peanut butter and jelly up here. Let's take a look at peanut butter and jelly. That's PBR talking about. Yeah, I heard y'all on the call too. Y'all was hyped up, so did a little something today, I see.
Yeah, I had to get off the screen with that one, bro.
So it was doing the Dougie. Yeah, outside week. The day, 2 up on the day after the outside day. 50% retracements at 1260. Still got some room to go. So yeah, PBR looking for a continuation tomorrow. Are we above or under this BF? We are above. Okay, good to know. So then that makes a difference in my mind. I don't like the bottom. So I'm gonna go 2-1-2 here. 212 on the 4 hour. Throw that out there on PBR, see what we get.
I have a question for your resume on PBR.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So,
please.
So what would be the price target for the continuation? Will that be, I have like a daily BF around 1216.
Okay.
And then I have like a couple of weekly BFs around 1251 area. So would you take it to that day? Is that what you have? Do you have that?
I don't have my dailies drawn, but
Okay.
we can, I don't draw dailies unless so what I would do tomorrow is probably go and draw them if I'm planning to trade it. But,
yeah, so like if it triggers and I take the trade, right? Because I'm already in long on PBR. What would be the price target? Like,
right. So there'll be a few. So let's start here. Let's start on the timeline that you entered. So your initial target, it would be conservative, but it's still your initial target. You could go back to that first pivot. That could be an initial target. But if you want to talk broad informations, we got to go to the daily. Go higher time frame. Previous 3, we got that daily in there. That's our bottom. We know that. So I think I can try that. And then let's see if there's any more that could impact price. Do a scan.
there's one like around 1197.
So then I'm just, scanning for some BFs, just anything that could affect my price. All right, so now come back here. Now we see what it looks like on the 4 hour. So we've got BFs to get through before we even get to trigger. So that's actually a good thing. So because the psychology would be, if it gets hung up right there, then we're not even taking a trade. Right?
So it would have to be like above 1184.
11, I have 1178 afternoon.
1178. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 1178 would be the entry point. So tomorrow we get the 2-1. It's gonna open up unless it gaps again. It's gonna open up right in this broad information range. So it's gonna tell us real quick if it has the strength or not. So say if it does, then your first pivot has got to be this your first target. So entry point 1178. And then 1178 to 1184, probably not too much on the contracts. So then now you're going, okay, where's my other pivots? You don't have broad informations on the daily that really affect it once you get past there. So now.
When you say pivots, are those scenario 3s?
Yeah, these are all scenario 3s on the broad information that I have drawn.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go to the 4 hour time frame because we just did the daily. There wasn't nothing on the daily. So make sure I didn't miss anything on the daily. Well, it doesn't look like we had anything. So now I will go to the 4. I would do a quick scan, same thing. You don't have to draw, like, I'm just drawing them all just to show as an example, but my recommendation would be just only draw the ones that really are going to affect price, like, take all that time. So I don't see any 4 hour BOs, but you've got magnitude as far as broad informations are concerned. And a lot of times I just do a quick spot check. So yeah. Yeah. So right after entry, you're gonna get a 4 hour broad information about 1180, I guess. Right after entry is like at 1180. So maybe it triggers and then like retraces right after the trigger point. So now, I mean, at this point, I'm like, okay, where's the fib levels? Like you gotta go, like, because now you're trying to find where it's gonna get rejected at, right? Now you're getting into like how I'm psychoanalyzing the trade. Because now, like most people would be like, "Oh, I don't see no broad informations." It get past the level, cool. I'm still like, hold up, let me
Right.
throw the fib. You know, I'm like, let me throw the fib levels on there.
Okay.
Now, once I do that, and then then I'm seeing, all right, let's go throw the fib on it. See if there's a correlation to some levels we already drew. Now let's zoom in here. We drew the fib on the day. We're gonna look at it on the 4. Now we zoom in. Got this. You got, yeah, high of the day. Once you get past this BF at 1180, which is a 4-hour, you got high of day 1184.
Okay.
You don't, I mean, we could go down to smaller time frames and check those fibs too, but like every angle that I'm trying to look at it to find something negative about it is telling me, nah, bruh.
Okay.
They're like, nah, bro.
It's almost like too good to be true. Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot. Yeah, but you're right about like drawing the fib levels.
Yeah, throw those on there too. If you you really want to, find out
Pinpoint
every price point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that, if the broad informations don't immediately give it to you, then yeah, do that. But yeah, it looks like you're gonna take entry at 1178, and then there's a BF at 1180, 2 pennies. But then after that, you got some room, you got high a day. So what is that? So that's only 6 pennies to high a day. Honestly though, you only need probably about maybe a 1% move, maybe like 10, 11 cent off for entry. You probably gonna hit 100, 200% on those contracts. You have to go analyze the contracts, see if there's people at the party, but contract or stocks that have that low on the underlying, you ain't gonna need much movement to get the contract burst. MRO, when it was cheap, used to be the same way. But yeah, so the next step would be go and look for the on the analyze tab, and then key in these levels that we've drawn up, and then see what the contract payout would be per those price point levels for tomorrow. And then you'll make an assessment. You'll know immediately. Once you say, oh, this is gonna pay me this much from here to here, you can be like, ugh. Or you might be like, dang, so it'll tell you. It could be a fire setup, but the contracts don't pay worth a darn, so it's like, wasted a good old setup, but that's where the evaluation comes in. So yeah, I mean, just from breaking this one down, after 1180, you got today's high, and then you got room to 1204. And I'm in there too, so I would love to see that happen tomorrow.
I think everybody's in there.
Right. Yeah. That's a good one right there.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get somebody to submit a video. I'm doing that peanut butter jelly dance.
Bro, even people allergic to freaking peanut butter that are in the pack are in that bitch.
They get high. I was just talking about it. Okay. Joseph Anthony taking a look at Apple. Man, yeah, this Apple setup looks pretty good. I mean, it looks more than pretty good, but yeah, it looks pretty fire, man. What I'm seeing, we did have the reversal on the 4-hour back up. No, I'm sorry. We had a rev strat on the day. I got my quads mixed up, but we got the reversal on the day. It did close red, but it gives good price action in the afternoon. per the 4 hour. Y'all already know how I feel about 3 downs. 3 downs are bullish in my book. So my expectation would be that we get that 312 Chicago to the upside tomorrow. I think you can mark that one. You know, unless the market does a funny gap down or something out of sync. I don't think this setup looks, I mean, straightforward to me. But yeah, Chicago 312 on the 4 hour. When I first started the strat and trading these 0 days, I only did exclusively Chicago 312 setups on the 4 hour. That's all I did. I didn't take others. I was just exclusively locked into that, but it was just my favorite. But there's other 4 hour setups that too. Let's see, 2 on the 4. The Apple setup looks good. I would be expecting continuation tomorrow. Let's see. Looks like it's giving us an opportunity probably for next week. So if it does go 312 tomorrow, it'll flip the week back green at 150.02. So you got about 62 cents to flip the week back green, and you'll be looking for a rev strat on the week next week above whatever that high is. We talked about NVIDIA. Mark that one. So that one, you know, it just looks like continuation. Worst case scenario, it consolidates. And then this is his brother, his little brother AMD. 2 up on a day. It hit that Broadman formation just like NVIDIA did, and then it got rejected. Difference is NVIDIA's BFs were weeklies. This is a quarterly. So we'll see. Pretty strong comeback though after the morning retracement. So show some strength to, you know, close the day kind of thing. So we'll see. Let's throw an alert on it. I think I still like NVIDIA the best so far though, out of the chips. All right, that's AMD. Again, setting up for a rev strat into next week. But again, I often caution people, they take these entries, the rev strat, into them broad formations, and then you get all this wickage. You get these long wicks, red candles. You don't want that. So just watch yourself when you take those. Adam, let's take a look at Wynn Resorts. This was one that it almost made the watch list this week because I was looking at the bullish inside week setup. The outside day today actually is a good sign. Is probably gonna try to push up at some point. The 4 hour didn't do that, but I think overall, I'm, you know, 3 downs for me, be bullish. I got to say it like my quote says, Dwayne, 3 downs, be bullish. But yeah, so as far as tomorrow's 4 hour setup, I don't know with what I've seen. I wouldn't take a bullish setup on this one tomorrow because it could go 3-2 down and then back up because there's a little bit of a gap still to fill. So yeah, so we could get a potential 3-1-2 down on the 4 hour. We get a 3-1-2 down on the 4 hour Chicago on the 4 to fill our gap and hit our volume gap here. Where we close our gap at? 103.76. So yeah, you could take the Chicago to the downside, shooter on the 4, entry below 105.81. The gap fills at 102.72. You got a nice little move there, but you may even push below that to this volume shelf here, which is like 103.51. Hey, you can do that tomorrow. Let's set an alert on that. That's a sneaky good one right there. Take a short-term put, take it to the volume shelf, and then maybe try to retest 322 back upside, but you can take the 2 down. That's slick. Oh, 581 would be your level for entry. Okay, through the week. Kind of glad I didn't have to watch this. What is it? CLF. This is a position that I'm currently holding. CLF is trading in between these quarterly BFs. So we're making our way back to the upper side of this range. We'll probably come in contact with point of control first, and that's at 2055 on the day. On the 4-hour here, we've got Chicago setting up. We had a very good inside week, and we are looking for Chicago. What is a 31313? 1-2. That thing just keep going outside. Maybe it goes outside tomorrow. Who knows? So let's see. I like to set up Chicago. We just be looking for a continuation on the day, which is good for me. We're coming off the bottom of that quarterly BF. We're going to go back and retest these upper broadening formations. So, okay. I do like it for tomorrow. Let's see. Probably you could take that first pivot as an initial target. And then there's a volume shelf like right there at the target. And then you've got point of control on the 4 hours, 2046. And then 2055 on the day. So those would be levels I'd be pointing out. If you want to throw a fib on there to see if they correlate, that'll just give you some additional information. Tesla, similar setup, inside week. Been on the up and up last few weeks here. 322 back to the upside here, and Chicago set up. You've got entry here above 203.28 to give you that 312 on Tesla. You know, setup looks like it could potentially go. It's coming off a point of control. So, you know, it's not giving us super bullish vibes, but I think the overall trend has been bullish over the last month and some change. So, you know, we'll see how this week, you know, I think tomorrow though, it goes 312 to the upside on the 4, which then would put us, I think we'll probably go 2 up on the day as well. Now the upside level, that's what I'm not quite certain on. It's like it's giving us cooling off vibes from here. So maybe it's got to the point of control and wants to it pushed through point of control and then came back to it. So maybe it wants to cool off and consolidate. But Tesla looks solid. 312 to the upside tomorrow looks likely. Draw your upside levels to see where it could potentially go. And that's what I would do. So those dailies are 4 hours on them to see what you get. Well, let's take a look at X. X gonna give it to you. Similar to CLF, X is coming off the bottom of Rodney formation, trying to go to the other side of this range. Did it go 2 up on the day or not? Let me see. 28.76. So it was 2 down today. Okay, so actually it's giving you 2 setups. You've got Chicago setting up to the upside. It's a lot of Chicago's for tomorrow. But Chicago setting up 312 to the upside. Your level for entry on X would be above 28.44. Also, if you wanted to wait and take the daily entry, the entry on the day would be a 2-2 rev above 28.75. And yeah, I like X. I think I like the price point better on CLF. Therefore, I like the opportunity for greater magnitude. Whereas I think X is already, is close to the top of its usual like trading range. So, $30, typically an area we start to push it on X. So at this point, $28 on X, I don't know if I want to take an upside move at 28 plus on X. But I think for tomorrow, I'm convolute long ideas with tomorrow's, but for tomorrow though, it's at the bottom of this range or coming off the bottom of this range. It looks like it can go test its way in the 29 range, potentially tomorrow. So we have to see if the strength continues, but it looks like there may be buying in other stocks within the sector. So that would make me want to look at AA, African Americans. We just looked at CLF. But yeah, it just looks like more buyers are in CLF right now, but I don't think X is bad at all. So there's a lot of the materials just look strong right now. So X is another one. X probably has the best volume and open interest on contracts in terms of like participation of traders. So that's another good thing because when it goes, it's going to go. There's no like hesitation with X. So that's the good thing. If you got time on it, for a long, for those long folks, it's not one you have to worry about. Just kind of. But as far as tomorrow though, that Chicago setup at 312 looks likely. We're at the point of control, just closed under it. So we have to push through that to get to entry. So I think that's actually a good thing when it has a little bit of turbulence to get through prior to triggering. You can kind of know if there's really strength in the stock before it even triggers, and that can help you with your decision making. So X, I think the sector strength is there. It's been consolidating. This whole sector, I think, has been consolidating for a little while. So it looks like it's giving us an opportunity to potentially go up tomorrow. X is one of my favorites though, so you know how I feel about it. They fam. Let's take a look at QuantumScape. Yeah, we was talking about QuantumScape and I forget the conversation we had today. But yeah, QS looks like we got a potential 122 tomorrow on the day. We're currently inside week. And we are inside on the 4, so we're looking for a 212 back to the upside. QS looks like it's squeezing. Did like a little baby move, but yeah, it still looks like it's in a squeeze. Not sure if it's ready to make a move yet. If anything, you could get like a shorter term move within that previous candle. Maybe you will want to see what that 212 takes you to. If you're looking at like levels, maybe entry at 978 to 1007 pays you pretty significant amount. That would be what almost 3% on the underlying. So there could be a potential for that thing to pay you well just to get back to today's high. So that's what I'll be looking for on that. I don't see a downside case for it. So it's either just going to continue to go sideways or break to the upside. Maybe not a huge breakout, but maybe enough to pay you a good amount of those contracts. Chips, materials. Take a look at UPS. Let's see. All right, UPS looks like it gapped down a couple of days ago, went below the BF. Looks like gave us a buying opportunity and an entry today. On the day, Rev Strat looks like on the 4 hour, what do we got? Two up on the 4, 2 up on the day. What else? Rev Strat on the week. So as far as the entry for tomorrow, we don't technically have one like set up right now. However, we just need to identify intraday entry after we open in the morning. But this one looks very bullish and it's got a gap to the upside to the, what level is this? 181.35 level. So there's a good opportunity if you could find an intraday entry, maybe on a micro time frame, and then take that trade to that gap fill area. And maybe potentially to that broadening formation, but I think the gap fill area could be reasonable. It's not too large on the underlying. But UPS looks bullish. It's definitely in continuation. We got the 2 down hammer on the week, so we're setting up next week for a nice rev strat to happen. So yeah, UPS looks solid. Now we got the African Americans, Efron. Similar to the others, these was coming off the bottom of a range. Looks like they're ready to go move to the other side of the range. This one, the interesting thing on this one looks like the buying hasn't been there as strong as some of the couple of others in its sector. So that's the one thing I've been noticing with this one is like it hasn't shown the strength, and I think that's just because of like buyers moving money around. But for tomorrow, I like to set up the 212 back up off the broadening formation today. But it would be a reversal on the micro time frame. It hasn't really picked a direction for us, so that's the challenge with that one. And even this week, it's kind of been choppy. So it's just it's doing like a little pinball here in between these broadening formations. So we may be poised to take the entry back up to the upside of this broadening formation. So getting this entry here could be interesting to take it back up through that level. But yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about AA right now. Okay, so that Merc is a Friday special. It does perform well on these 0 days. So whenever it gives you a pretty strong setup for one of these 0 days, just be mindful of it. It can really pay well. It also has a nice long setup too, setting up. So 2 up on the day, we see that. Continuation would be the expectation. We do have a little room from entry to that next broadening formation. You know my rule about the BFs. That could be a target for exit. But entry at 110.87. And if you were to take that to the broadening formation around $12.10, maybe slightly above it, because you know how these things can wick above it first. But just taking it to the broadening formation, you're looking at 112.16 from entry at 110.87. So you really need to do the math on those contracts and see if there's enough meat on the bone, pause, for you to take that. But we do feel bullish on MRK. It's just at a broad information level or just under one. So we know how we expect, price to react to broad informations. So, sometimes people want to play in the waters, cool, and you feel confident it'll go through the BF, whatever, but just be mindful of what's ahead of you. So if that underlying move isn't enough to move those contracts enough for you to take the trade, then you move on to the next one. We just looked at CLF, but just to rehash it, stays that Chicago to the upside, 2015. Say it again.
I was just saying, I appreciate you on that, MRK. Thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the CLF, similar to the others, like at the bottom of the range, coming really ready to go push to the other side. I'm in that one long. And then we got Target here. Target looks like it came back to point of control, found some buyers right here at the volume shelf. Looks like it's ready to go push the other way, back up. Again, I think it's just a preference thing. I just don't like when things have been going down for a number of days and then, want to go back up instantly. It's hard for me to take that day trade or that scalp on that type of trade. Like, and maybe that's just a preference for me. But sure, yeah, if you catch it when it reverses at that point and it goes ballistic, then you make all the money. But I think from my standpoint, I see a lot of times we get those setups on those things that have been trending down, and then it'll trigger up and then fail after it triggers up. So I have to kind of have a little understanding. And Target right now is kind of like in a precarious spot. It went and got rejected at the monthly level broad in formation. Came under the quarterly. Looks like it hit like a volume shelf and got bought up a little bit. So I would be interested to see how much strength is in it to take it back above this quarterly level broad information. And so, yeah, that would be my thing. Now, if it breaks through that broad information on the 212 back up tomorrow, and then, it's like, boom, you're a genius. But entry point so close to the broad information, that makes me a little uneasy. 165.89 on the 4-hour broad information is like 160. Like, it's like less than $1 or $1. You get to the next broad information. That, it just gives me a little pause. That's the only thing. But I think Target, from overall, how we feel about Target. But just tomorrow's setup, it gives me a little bit of pause. That's all. You can see something I don't. Let me see. So next up, we got MasterCard. Looks like MasterCard went 2 down on the day. So we got the rev strap potential, 2 down on the week. Hasn't really shown much strength. Went outside 4. It was the inside. So this is interesting. Yeah, so I'd be looking for this thing to go 312 to the upside tomorrow. Not sure, considering what the other things I saw, if I would play this one on the 0 day tomorrow. For one, the contracts are typically more expensive than we like to play on those 0 days. And then 2, the theta is typically horrible on MasterCard's contracts on 0 days. So you don't even get much protection either. You need like everything to be perfect. So this one here has a little bit of conflict. So my thought process would be for a 0 day, I'd probably stay away. But maybe for a longer one, I give it some more consideration. But for a 0 day, I probably hold back. We got a hot missile. So next up, we got Lowe's. So with Lowe's, had 2 down week, came back into a broadening formation, had a very nice reaction off the broadening formation. Similar deal to Target though. Gap down. It's the same concept as like when something gaps up and then you think, you know, try to get puts immediately. Like it's gonna go back down intraday. It's kind of hard to do. So, you know, this one could go up 212 tomorrow, but you know, in terms of like filling the gap, going back to the other side of the range, that may be different. But in this case here, there could be a potential opportunity to take to the upside off this broadening formation reversal. I like that. I like when it does that. So I like the entry here at 212 above 202.44. These are the kind of things I would look for like on a macro. So I do like the way it sets up. It's just, you know, you're looking for, you need like instantaneous move. You need the trigger, you need the movement, you need everything to go in alignment on the 0 days. And so you want to put your money where things like trend and the direction are already kind of decided. And so that's why I kind of look for these types of trades for the longer swings, because I'm looking for magnitude and I'm buying time. So I want to give it an opportunity to take from one side of the range to the other. Versus these, I don't need to do all that. I just need to go from point A to point B. If you're going north, okay, I'm trying to go north with you.
25%. Yeah, you don't got raise hand. You jump on it. Sorry.
I used to end the shot this time though. Wouldn't it all love and everybody was all happy?
All right, so next up we got Amazon. So Amazon here.
Came up with a idea for a company that buys ad shares in bulk.
We got a
You
shooter.
got a hot mic?
Yeah, we got hot mic. We got a shooter on the month, 2 up after the strong 3 candle. Y'all already know 3 up speed bearish. So what do we expect Amazon to do next month? So that's an entry actually. So mark your trigger points on the low of the month. So with all that being said, I don't know if I want to take it for an upside tomorrow, but let's analyze it. It looks like some buyers are present at this $95 level, or just below it where buyers picked it up. So looks like it got to point of control on the day though, however, and got held up. So we want to see this one go 312 to the upside tomorrow, above the 96.24 level. Would be the entry point on Amazon. But again, like I said, when it comes to these things that have been trending down, to get like that 1 day move up, I think, you know, just look at the probabilities. That's all I can say. I like things that have been going up already or in a direction already, so I can just take the trade in that same direction, not try to reverse the direction it's been going. So yeah, Macy's. Asa, yeah, this looks like barbecue chicken. We got entries to the downside on the 4 hour as well as the day. We're looking at 3, 1, 2, 1. We got a Luca on the 4 hour to the downside. A 3, 1, 2, 1. Is that right? No, 2, 1, 3, 1. My bad. Not a Luca. Sorry. But we do have an entry though, 212 bullish, not bullish, but bearish continuation. You got an entry below $20.67. And then also on the day, you've got a bearish continuation below $20.56. So you got both of those trigger points essentially like ready to go. So that looks really, really good as well for a downside move on Macy's. Yeah, that looks solid. Check the people at the party, see what we working with. So in Disney, Roku. So Disney. I've been in Disney puts for like the last week. But today it looks like they closed with like a hammer, 2 down hammer. So That's good. That's good. You know, my thesis is that this thing still got room to the downside. However, I don't try to predict like, you know, when or how long, or, you know, you're gonna get these 2 up days. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would, it doesn't give you downside signals, but that's what I would be looking for. It just keeps making newer lows. After it got in that cluster BFs, it just keeps making newer lows. Even though it gets bought up when it breaks the lows, I guess it keeps gapping down or something. But yeah, so it's not taking the traditional path down, but yeah, I would be looking for this one. Like if we were reversing off of broad information or something, then I'd be like, oh yeah, we done selling. But it's just reversing. Looks like a volume shelter there. So once those orders are filled, is there enough to take it actually to the upside, or is it going to just fail again? So that would be the question. That would be the question I would have. Let's see, Roku. What you doing, baby? Roku all over the damn place. I don't really like Roku right here. I don't think it's picking a direction, and I think it's like just in the consolidation point on the week. It hasn't really showed us any direction for me to want to take it anywhere. I think it will probably go 312 up tomorrow, but I don't know if there's any meat on the bone for me to. I don't see. Maybe it pushes up and stays within the range of this mother bar. So you do have some magnitude to 69.89. So yeah, you got you know, like a $3 move. So you know, close to 4%. So you're not, you know, now that I think about it, you do have a little bit of room back to magnitude. But it's trading within this range. So I wouldn't be looking for a super huge move. Just looking for it to take it to magnitude would be probably a good conservative way to do it. So yeah, Roku. So I started off negative about it, but I actually am more positive about it. So let's keep it moving here. PBR is, let's go HD, high definition. So gap down the week, 2 down. You got the 4 hour. Looks like consolidation. You got some investigation. So it does look like it could give us a 1-2-2 back to the upside on the day above this 299.88 level. I do feel that it's going to continue to consolidate, but you're at the bottom of the consolidation range, it looks like. So you could get a 2-1-2 to the upside on the 4 hour here above 299.71. And then maybe you could trade within this high of 308.01. I wouldn't see it going above that just yet. I don't think it's ready to make that move yet, but it may push up in this area here, which could give you a little meat on the bone. So you have to go and analyze the price points and see if those contracts for 0 day are worth your investment, and see what those contracts can pay out on you. But I do see that room in between the high from the 21st, which was Tuesday. So if you pick a target within that, if you want to go to smaller time frames and identify some other targets, that could be what you do. But yeah, go check it out and see if that range is good enough for you or not. Yeah, HD. All right, so the Prime Minister, Philip Morris. Again, a lot of these stocks are like coming down off of lows, which we like, except for scalps and day trades. We want stuff in continuation. So again, with this one, we've got all red continuity to the downside until you get to the day time frame. So, you know, I think for me, it gives you a very strong looking 4-hour candle. So if it does trigger and go to the upside, there is a potential for it to get back to $100 and change. Maybe 177 is the level. And then you have the rev strat on the day with the hammer. So that's probably more significant, actionable signal to me than the 4-hour. So, but you got continuity against you. So at what point does this thing just give out of gas on you? Does it really have strength, or is it just, temporary? So let's look at it from that standpoint. If you're gonna be there for a short time, not a long time, you're there for a good time, and that may be all you need. You know what I mean? So it's just about what your plan is and what's your plan of attack. What's this? Conagra Foods. Never played it for 0 days, but we'll take a look. I will go check the people at the party, see if there's participation. But looks like we got a potential for a 322 back to the upside on the 4 above 36.40. And then on the day is giving shooter vibes. So, I think based on what we're seeing on the 4-hour, it has a higher likelihood to go up tomorrow. Real strat on the day above 36.67. Then you got 3-2 down on the month. We already know what that means. So we'll be looking for that as well on the macro standpoint. But yeah, Conagra is sneaky. That one looks sneaky though. Okay. Toothpaste. Rev strat day. We need entry above 74.77. If you want to be conservative, that's the entry point you want to wait for, because then it's going through all the broadening formations. However, if you feeling frisky, if you feeling froggy, then you could take these 322 at the 4-hour entry point of 73.70, and then let it do work all the way through these broadening formations till you get to the next broadening formation and pivot point. But that's a decision. Are you gangster, or are you just gonna take the conservative approach? Because maybe you wait till it clears the day, and then you get into this area where there's not much in the way. But there's a lot of money to be made if you get in there. So it's up to you. It's all about your risk profile more than anything. Yeah, Dwayne, that 3 downs and the 3 ups. I mean, that's the profit formula. I like that. 3 downs, be bear, be bullish. All right. Nike. Just do it. All right, so Nike looks like it's trying to respect this quarterly BF, maybe try to push back up, real strat on the day. Don't like downtrends, trying to take them back up for day trades. Just a general preference that I have, so I just have to keep saying that over and over, because they keep trying to tempt me with these setups that's been going down for 8 straight days, and then you give me a 1 candle, they be doing that, boy. You get me like on the week or higher, I'm with it. I'm with it. But on these day trades, I'll be like, hold on, you got a tight leash. But it looks like this broadening formation came with some buyers. So maybe it does try to push and push itself back up through this range, back to the other broadening formation around 122.56, which would be a good case scenario. You do have a PMG on the 4-hour as well. So, there's some opportunity. There's a PMG on the day also. So there's opportunity. I think it's sold off. So if this is the point where it's done selling, then you have made yourself some money right there. Nike, Dwayne, just do it. Stace, just do it. We got the general. Oh, look at that. general gap down, and then people liked it. They liked the buy-in level. They didn't like all these broad formations up here. Gap down, 212 on the 4. Looking for that entry. Look at that. That's interesting right there. Entry above 217.40. A lot of major volume sitting there. Rev strat on the day. Yeah, I mean, it's tempting. It got beat down. It came off some lows. I mean, shoot, if you really want to get a long entry on that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, with the gap down, you know how I feel about, you know, stuff that trends down and then trying to take it right back up. But it's showing you a lot. It's showing you some thigh meat for real. But DG looks actually really good for a long. So let's see. A tree that looks, man, they showing some thigh meat. I mean, look at that long setup. Man, hey, chill out. Dollar Tree, similar thing. I think Dollar General has less broad informations in this way, but Dollar Tree kind of same thought process. I think there's more buying in Dollar General than there is in Dollar Tree right now. But setup looks similar. I don't know if there's much difference I could say between except for the broad informations. So yeah, Dollar Tree looks solid, but Dollar General looks better. That thing like that thing looked good on the that thing looked good off the gap down. Fire. Yeah. So I like those DGs. Chewy. Let's see that Chewy. Chewy with the downside move. Took those Chewy puts. Man, them things hit target, huh? I think we hit target. So it's like, hey, we okay if it go up. We good now. They ain't our trade no more. Ain't that what FICO say? They ain't our trade no more. All right. So you got 212 to the upside above 39.81 on Chewy on the 4. And then on the day, you got entry above 40.67. That's the more conservative entry above that broad information. So you're a little bit on safer ground. So it's really your thought process on that if you wanted to take those entries. But that's not half bad at all. But yeah, looks like mission accomplished on Chewy. There ain't no more downside. I'm thinking I'm good, you know. Oh, we already looked at UPS. Yep, we did. That thing looked like it was gonna bust. And then Valet. Yeah, Valet looks like another one that I saw look pretty good for some movement. You see all the broad information, so it looks like it fell to a level that buyers liked. So it's going to try to push up from here. Probably back to those $19 levels eventually. So just got to give it a little time. But looking at Chicago, yeah, this is a good point in between these broad informations. Yeah, this is a good find. Despite it being between all the BS, this point right here is Chicago entry at 1694. You've got room all the way to about 1720-ish. So just go and look for maybe some micro BS that might be in the way. But yeah, that's a good price point to take on an entry for a day trade in between that range right there. It's pretty good, fine. The game within the game. Chicago and Vail looks really good. Yeah. Nah, we haven't checked out DVN crash. Let me check it out right now. Yeah, so buying opportunities in abundance. Looks like finally they retired of selling it. So looks like now you make the move back up. So far, good strong week as a recovery. Still got ways to go, but 4-hour continuation. You're in a cluster of broadening formations. So I'm not sure if I want to take anything right here. Because you could have a scenario where tomorrow it gaps down. Here you go, 3-2-2, back down to this broadening formation below, because there's just so much junk and there's just junk and trash right there. So anything could happen at this level. It could gap over it tomorrow. Either way, I don't think there's going to be an entry for this one for tomorrow. It's either going. I think it's either going to gap down or gap over. And if it does go intraday into this range, I wouldn't want to play it. I probably want to leave it alone. Too much congestion. Got me cracking up. 3-2 downs. MO double inside day, huh, Chris? Oh, and I owe you a message, Chris. I got your message. I will respond to. Thank you for following up on that too. So yeah, we got MO. Some of them Seagull apps. So we got double inside days on MO. To the upside, you got an entry. You got an entry above 47.70. You could potentially push that up to the 48.10 level. There's a weekly level BF there. That would be the target I'm looking at. That may give you enough to entice you to take a trade on it. Macro wise though, looks like 312 in a month is setting up. But a lot of these stocks are in like broadening formation cluster ranges. So either you feel how you feel and you're gonna take it, or you're gonna be a little conservative and wait on the trade to kind of decide a direction for you. Procter & Gamble, this one looks like it's going up tomorrow. It is going to go up into a broadening formation, but you do have some room. And these contracts should pay pretty well on the 0 days. So I do like Procter & Gamble because they have cheaper contracts and the contracts move pretty well on the options chain. So you're looking at a 322 to the upside here. And I'm going to mark this one also above 140.16. I don't think I have any staples ones labeled. 140.16. So yeah, 322 to the upside. You've got a couple targets you can look at. You got point of control on the 4-hour here at 141.09. Conservative target, that's about $1 move. That's going to take you probably a little over 0.5% on the movement, on the underlying. And then you've got a level of like 141.80 or something like that. That may be more appealing to you in terms of price point on the contract. So go run the calculation and see what contracts fit, you know. So Nikki over here killing me in the chat. All right, so we got Pep in our step, Pepsi. We got RevStrat on the day setting up here, hit the low, seems like it got bought up. And then we got the 212 to the upside on the 4-hour. Pepsi looks like it's just been consolidating for like 2 weeks straight. Ever since it gapped up, what day was this? Did it gap up? Let me get out of the way. On February 9th, it looks like it's just been in a range. It claimed a low of 172.20 or 172 something. Not get the damn level. and then it got a high of 178.23. It's just been in between that range, so I just still feel as though it's just going sideways. So if it does trigger to the upside, I'm not sure I see it an extended move, but it does set up to potentially go up tomorrow. I'll just be calculating some levels to see where we could potentially go. 177.50, maybe a level. Yeah, I'm just not seeing the strength I want out of it to go ballistic right now, for a 0 day at least. KO, that usually has a better performance on 0 days. Looks like a lot of wick going on the day, so there's a lot of trading happening on code. 2 up on the day. It probably still go 2 up tomorrow as well. But I think the real opportunity will be the rev strat on the 4 hour, entry above $60.20. And if you could take that entry back to even the high of the day from today with 60.42, that should give you something pretty good on those coke contracts. Coke contracts pay very damn well. So if you can identify the opportunity, then you got you something with that one. We know how Coke treats the pack. Pack likes Coke, Coke likes the pack. And then Ronell, let's take a look at Halliburton. Looks like Hallie found some buyers, continuities to the downside. Again, we're at the 3-2 down week. We do have the shooter on the 4 hour afternoon candle. So we got to respect what we see and what we know to be true. So we don't want to neglect that. So what do we see? What are we looking for here? We could take some potential downside below this 36.10 level. You could take target 35.79. That may not be enough meat on the bone for you. You might want a little bit more meat. And the next target would probably be the low of the day from yesterday, which is 35.43. That may be more appealing. That may be more to your liking in terms of the play. So Halliburton, though, it looks like continuities to the downside. So I'd be expecting that, and mark those levels and then check the contracts to see if they're worth your time. But Halliburton is another one that pays well, particularly on 0 days, especially for the contracts. So I think if the setup and the payment on the price points match up, then I'd say go for it. And then just watch futures in the morning, see how it reacts. Oil futures, I should say, crude, none of that. But yeah, no, that, I think it looks solid for a downside move. You might get some more downside tomorrow, but I think next week, though, it might try to make a move up. So anyway, that's all I got. And smell like some greens or something that's cooking in the house. I'm gonna have to get in here and see what's going on in there. But if y'all don't have no more questions, Pack, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. I'm country, man. You can't be cooking no greens in the house with me. But if y'all ain't got no more questions, man, I'm gonna let y'all go and have a good evening. And I'll get the recording up and have it posted up here on the YouTube probably within the hour. And my watch list sometime after that. Oh yeah, we don't do nothing but college, Larry. No, come on, man.
Thank you for your time, bro.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good night,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Take
Y'all
care,
have
bro.
a great evening. I'll catch y'all
I'll see you tomorrow. Bet.
Yes, sir. Peace.